It was a warm September day in Largo when a man going for his job interview noticed something unusual by the water: a large alligator with what looked like a body in its mouth. Alarmed, he quickly alerted others, and soon more locals witnessed the horrifying scene. The massive reptile was dragging its prey through the water, and some onlookers even captured the moment on their phones. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, joined by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Together, they managed to pull the alligator from the water. The situation was grim, and the officials knew what had to be done. The alligator was shot and killed, with the authorities describing it as a humane end to the terrifying ordeal. With the creature subdued, officers taped its powerful jaws shut and used ropes and chains to haul it out of the canal. The grim task continued as they carefully cut into the alligator's side to retrieve the remains of the woman inside. This woman was Sabrina Peckham. Just 2 months before her tragic death, Sabrina Peckham had been arrested on July 14 for trespassing on a county wetland, just half a mile from where the alligator would later attack her. She was fined $500 for the incident, and it wasn't the first time she'd been in trouble for trespassing. Records showed that she had several misdemeanors dating back to 2014, along with a history of theft and other run-ins with the police. When Sabrina passed away, her daughter, Breonna Doris, shared the heartbreaking news on social media. Through her grief, Breonna posted about the family's GoFundMe and wrote, "The past 24 hours have been filled with grief, sorrow, and an unbearable pain for our family. My mother, Sabrina Peckham, was the victim of the alligator attack at McKay Creek, Rainbow Village. Please understand that we don't have all the information yet, as the medical examiner's report is not finished. There are some details I want to share. My mother did not taunt the alligator, as some are saying in the news comments. My mother was part of the homeless population that lived in the nearby wooded area. We expected to have many more years with her, but unfortunately, God has called her home sooner than our hearts were ready." In a heartfelt message to her mother, Breonna added, "To my mother, I love you more than I ever expressed. I miss you more than you'll ever know. And I pray that you're looking down over me and your grandchildren. Please protect us. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I pray you're at peace now, no longer struggling or hurting. I hope you found Mama and Pop, and that you're all watching over us from above." The details of the attack remain relatively unknown, so in order to understand this story, we must go backwards. Deputies from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office first made the discovery when they found Sabrina Peckham's lifeless body clutched in the jaws of a massive alligator, nearly 14 feet long, that had crawled out of a creek in their jurisdiction. It was the investigation that followed that revealed the gruesome details of Sabrina's tragic death. It all began on a Friday afternoon, September 22, when a passerby spotted the giant creature in a neighborhood in Largo, Florida, about 15 miles northwest of St. Petersburg. Jamarcus Bullard was on his way to a job interview when he noticed what he initially thought was a mannequin in the gator's mouth. But as he got closer, he saw blood seeping through the alligator's teeth. Horrified, he ran across the street to a nearby fire station, even throwing a rock at the beast in fear for the safety of the children nearby, as there was a school and youth center close by. When the fire department arrived, they confirmed the horrific reality. The alligator was chewing on the lower part of a human body. They quickly called for backup, and by 1:50 p.m., deputies had arrived at McKay Creek, near the intersection of the 134th Avenue North and 121st Street North. As the investigation unfolded, Brianna, Sabrina's daughter, tried to piece together her mother's final moments. She later shared that her mother had likely been walking to or from her campsite in the darkness of night when the attack occurred. "It was nighttime when it happened," Brianna told the Mirror US. "It was too dark for her to see it, possibly on the banks or wherever it may have been. It appears it just grabbed her and pulled her in." Brianna talked about the common belief that alligators won't bother you unless you bother them, but she knew the reality was more complicated. "The truth is, it's a wild animal, and if it gets hungry, you know." The exact location where Sabrina encountered the alligator remains unclear, but nearby John S. Taylor Lake Park is known for its alligator population, with signs warning park goers about the reptiles posted at all entry points and within the park, especially along the mile-long Taylor Lake. However, Brianna doubted whether her mother had seen any signs that night. After visiting the area herself, she revealed that there were actually no signs along the road where her mother's body was found, a bit south of the park's main area and the lake. "People are saying there were signs posted, but if you go out there, there are no signs about gators in that creek," Brianna said. "I feel like if there were gators in that creek and people knew about them, there probably should have been signs posted." She added, "If you go out to where they found her, the same bridge where she was found, and just look around that street anywhere, there are no signs about gators anywhere." Could this criminal negligence have cost Sabrina her life? Quite possibly. When the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission released their report on Sabrina Peckham's death, it revealed some truly shocking details. The report noted that her body showed no signs of having been in the water or inside the alligator for a long time, so she likely encountered the beast on land. During the necropsy, several of her body parts were found inside the gator, but it became clear that the fatal attack didn't happen where she'd been living, in the brush near McKay Creek. FWC investigator Rich Schifano was puzzled by the presence of such a large alligator in a small creek, so he set out to understand why. He discovered that McKay Creek was wider and deeper than expected, and was connected to nearby lakes. This explained why a big gator was in the area. Now it actually makes sense that there was a big gator where she was, Schifano said. "There's big gators in between, and this canal's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was." McKay Creek connects to Taylor Lake to the north and Ridgecrest Lake to the south. According to the report, both lakes had recently seen very large alligators. Taylor Lake was where a gator had killed a man diving for frisbees in 2022. Ridgecrest Lake Park Ranger Carl Schodka mentioned spotting a large gator matching the description of the one involved in the attack. Similarly, Taylor Lake Park Ranger Ponce Collins shared that he often saw large alligators in the southern part of the lake, and had even seen Peckham walking along the canal about a week before the deadly attack. In a body cam video, Schifano noted that Taylor Lake was out of water at the time for a maintenance project, which had mostly drained the lake. According to nearby residents, this project, conducted by Pinellas County Public Works, might have driven the gators into the canal. Yet again, this theory lends credence to the theory that it was careless management by the local government that put Sabrina's life in danger. The FWC determined that alligators used McKay Creek to travel between the two lakes, noting in the report that both lakes are connected to the incident location by an unobstructed canal. Following this tragic event, Pinellas County has put up fencing and signs to keep people away from the canal. According to FWC records, it's rare for a gator to kill a human. Since the early 1970s, only 2 people have been killed by an alligator in Pinellas County. Sabrina was the unfortunate third. If Sabrina's tragic death shocked you, wait until you see what comes next. It's sure to give you goosebumps.